Now that you've told us the background behind the metering thing, why are we not having meters and then we're still getting estimated billing all over?
It's a function of funding, essentially. In my warehouse now, or in the factory, I have more than 50,000 meters lying there, but somebody has to pay for it. So if the disco pay for it, I would deliver immediately. And if they want us to be rolling out 50,000, 100,000, we have about 3 or 4 manufacturers in Nigeria now. So that is sufficient to address the metering gap. So,
seriously?
Okay. Yes, sufficiently to address the metering gap. Once we are funded adequately, we will be producing and we'll be rolling out.
People, there are consumers that have paid for meters, even though they were told they were not supposed to pay for meters. I know where I was living before. I paid for a meter, even though it never arrived before I left that place.
If we have any need for meter today, I can give you meter, even today.
Okay, so...
But what is the system? The meter goes from you to the distributor, right?
Not really. The flow process has to be redefined properly, but the flow process as of today is that I, as a manufacturer, I have to take it to where they call NEMSA.
Okay.
That is institution or the government body that do the calibration.
Okay.
They will do the calibration to standardize it to Nigerian codes and assign it to the metering code assigned to each of the disco. If it is ECO, if it is Ibadan, they will be able to assign it to them.
In fact, you don't even know where your meters end up.
No, I can follow it up because we have data. We can follow the process because there's what they call supply group code. Okay. Is to allow each of the disco to be self-accounting because each of them gets supplied in a different feeder.
And
they have
exactly,
to pay for
exactly which meter is coming
from
which
today,
company,
exactly, which company, exactly. And there are no 2 meters that have the same serial number.
Okay.
So you can trace any meter across the country. So once the calibration is done, then it will be assigned to any of the disco, provided it has been paid for. That is the flow.
Okay.
You see, your concern is the payment.
Yes.
Mr. Adonton,
yes.
We were told years ago that the consumer was not supposed to pay for meters. What is the situation now?
Okay. I spoke earlier about regulatory inconsistency. We've been so unlucky in this country that we have people that will be in position of power to just wake up one day and change something that was even working. The regulator, the previous NEC commissioner, the NEC board, Dr. Sam Amadi's regime, they started what they call CAPME, which enables you, if you cannot wait for the meter rollout that was coming, and I will explain that in a minute, what we have in our agreement was to provide 1.7 million meters over a 5-year period, all the 11 discos.
Okay.
After they have done that, but that's what they use to compute our tariff. Remember, there's an issue of cost recovery. Every money you spend on capital expenditure in the power sector has to be accounted for in the tariff. So 1.7 million is there only for them, government or regulator government, to discover that the metering gap was about 4.1 million. Okay, you know you have 4.1 million deficit. People who had no meters, 62 years of negligence and neglect before 2013. You know you have over 4 million gap. You are asking the new incoming people to do 1.7 in 5 years. And people are building houses every day. And the old meters are also getting obsolete and getting bad every day. So we have a pile-up, right? But I told you that this 1.7 is what they use to calculate the tariff. So inside the tariff, there's what we call allowable capex, what you're allowed to spend on capital expenditure. For all the 5 discos, and that's where the issue of cost and the numbers comes in. For all the 11 discos, in 5 years, you are only allowed to spend 305 billion naira on all capital expenditure. Capital means network expansion, all those poles, all those cables, all those things, transformers, injection substations or injection stations, meter, and all the rest, all for 305 billion. Now, to do meter alone, and we prefer smart meter, because when we deploy meter in Ikeja, in Abuja, in Ibadan, in Benin, and even in Kano, the first thing that we noticed was that 40% of our meters are bypassed within 3 weeks of installation. There's a huge culture of theft, energy theft in this country. But if you have smart meter, like my brother said, you can monitor it, When they tamper with it, you will know. Now, an average smart meter, 3-phase smart meter, costs an average 73,000 naira. This is a meter manufacturer, he can confirm the price. So for 4 million people, yes, for 4 million people, 73,000 naira times 4 million, 299 billion naira. 305 billion for all capital expenditure, minus that 299, how much remains? 7 billion. Can you do that? No. What are the things you need for capital expenditure? More than 10 items.
Must you do the smart meters?
No, I'm saying even if it's non-smart, even do the calculation. The truth of the matter is this. The money allowed for this thing, and they gave us 1.7 million. Let me quickly correct one thing and inform Nigerians that we've done 88% of that as at this morning. So when people say they are not metering, if it doesn't get to your house, you think it's not happening. But it won't happen at the pace that we expect if we are still going on with this pretension that all is well, when we know that what we need to do is to make provision for this sector, to do things rightly, to go on doing things the proper way, to stop wasting public money on projects and things that are totally unnecessary. What we need to do is to look at how do we make the system whole, the industry as a whole. Because when you have an industry with a very huge shortfall, now it's 1.3 trillion naira, and it's rebuilding. When you have that, then things to do with those capital expenditure will be non-existent. You can't be able to do any more of that. And if you put 427 billion naira on a business, and in 5 years, no return, not a single kobo return on investment. Number one, the disco that I represent, we are the one below the value chain. Every debt of the industry is carried on our own book. They did that in good faith for ease of recovery because we are the one that collect the tariff, collect money. But the catch or the problem for us on that is that we cannot borrow money from banks. Every bank, lender will look at your cash flow. And of course, if you are buying a product at 80 naira and you are selling at an average of 31 naira, which lender will want to lend you money? Because they know that if they give you money, there's no chance of you getting it. Even when you now buy at about 80 naira and you are selling at about 31 naira, I'm just using those two figures as example. In Nigeria today, you give them, somebody gets a bill of 5,000, he pays 1,000 or 2,000. In some cases, he gives our staff 500 naira bribe. That one will just go. So the debt keeps going up. So metering is an answer, it's a way. Everywhere we meter, we just flagged up one in Abuja Disco 2 days ago. Everywhere we put meters, we recover more money from there. But some people who are either ignorant or mischievous will say that we make more money from estimated billing. Estimated billing is evil. It's not good for us. It's not good for the consumers as well.
And so why do you do it?
We have to do it because that is why the regulator themselves gave us the methodology to do it. We have to continue to do it.
Oh, the regulator gave you the
methodology to calculate estimated billing. We don't just sit down in our office and write figures.
So wait, the estimated billing here is what the government asked you to do?
What the regulator asked us to do, yes. How they asked us to calculate it and to do it. And anybody, any disco that failed to do it in the way they are asked to do it will be severely punished by the regulator.
Mr. Adunso, another question.
Yes.
So it looks like from now on the consumer has to pay for their meter.
No. It looks like from now on meter is no more our business. According to the Honorable Minister for Power, meter is now government business. They call it MAP regulation. So when you talk about meter, stop asking Mr. Odunton. Direct your question to NEC or the next godfathers, the Ministry of Power. They are the one now in charge of meter. So Nigerians should understand. We are still metering.
Hold on.
Because we have only done 88%
so meter is not
of
your
what
business.
It's no more. They say it's no more our primary business.